Elias' heart adjusted the straps of his suit as the landing pod shuddered. The engines roaring one last time before settling onto the rocky surface of Valira. The sky above was a swirl of colors he had never seen before. Soft purples melting into golden streaks, clouds that shimmered as though made of glass dust. He had walked on many planets before, but something about this one made him pause, caught between awe and caution. As the hatch opened, the air carried a faint hum, almost musical, vibrating in rhythm with the pulse of the planet itself. Elias stepped out carefully, boots crunching on smooth, glass-like stones. He scanned the horizon. Towering structures, alive with soft bioluminescence, reached skyward like the branches of great alien trees. The Valyrians had built their cities not by conquering nature, but in harmony with it. It was beautiful. It was unlike anything he had seen in human space. A group of beings approached. They moved with a grace that seemed impossible. Tall, slender, with skin that glimmered faintly under the sun, their eyes large and shining like pools of liquid light. One of them, a young female with delicate features and silver-tinted skin, stopped a few feet away from him. She wore a flowing garment that seemed alive, shifting colors with every movement. Her eyes held curiosity, intelligence, and a touch of fear. Princess Leora. Someone spoke behind her, in a voice that carried authority without anger. A taller figure stepped forward, regal and commanding. Queen Amara. She studied Elias with sharp eyes, noting the way he carried himself, the calm in his gaze. "Do you understand the customs of our world, human?" Elias nodded. "I am here in peace. I wish only to learn and share knowledge." His voice was steady, but inside, he felt the weight of the moment. Humans were not always welcomed with trust in the galaxy. Here, trust seemed even harder to earn. Leora tilted her head, her luminescent eyes studying him. There was a moment of hesitation, a silence that stretched like a bridge waiting to be crossed. Then she extended her hand not in a formal gesture, but carefully, almost shyly. "You may. Hold my finger," she whispered. Her voice was soft, musical, and Elias felt a strange warmth in her words. He blinked, then gently wrapped his hand around hers. Her skin was cool, smooth, and faintly glowing. The moment their fingers touched, a wave of energy seemed to pass through the space between them. It was subtle, barely noticeable, yet powerful. Elias felt it, and so did the princess. Behind her, Queen Amara gasped. She staggered backward and collapsed to her knees, her hands pressed to her chest. The court erupted into chaos. Advisors rushed forward, some shouting, others unsure what had just happened. Leora froze, her eyes wide with shock. "Mother?" she called, dropping her hand from Elias's. Elias knelt beside the queen, offering a steadying hand. "Is she hurt?" he asked. Queen Amara's eyes fluttered open, filled with tears and relief. She looked at him, her expression a mix of astonishment and gratitude. You are human?" she whispered. Then, she shook her head, as if trying to clear a memory from her mind. It is real. It is safe. Thank the stars." Leora helped her mother rise, confusion written across her glowing face. "Mother, why did you fall? What just happened?" Queen Amara took a deep breath, steadying herself. "The touch. The bond. Only someone of true honor can withstand it. I feared for you, my child. But this human, he is different. His heart, it is pure." Elias stood quietly, unsure what to say. He had meant only to show kindness, a simple gesture of trust. Yet somehow, this small act had carried weight far beyond his understanding. He had been part of something sacred, something ancient. The court settled into uneasy silence. The Valyrians were known for their rituals, for the care they placed in every interaction. But humans were foreign. Many had never been close to one. To witness a princess willingly touch the finger of a human, and for the queen to collapse in relief, was unprecedented. Whispers filled the hall. Some filled with wonder, others with suspicion. Leora looked at Elias again, her curiosity stronger than ever. "Why? Why did you do it?" she asked softly. "I wanted to show respect," Elias said simply. "I know humans are often misunderstood. I wanted you to know I come in peace." She studied him, as if searching his mind for hidden motives. Instead, she found openness, honesty, and courage. Slowly, a small smile appeared on her face. "You are unlike any human I have ever known," she said. Queen Amara straightened, her composure returning. "You will stay in our city, human," she declared. "We will observe, and the council will decide the next steps. But know this, the bond that has been made today cannot be ignored. It is rare, precious, and carries consequences for all of us." Elias nodded, understanding. His presence was no longer casual. He was now tied to the fate of this world in a way he had never expected. He glanced at Leora. She seemed both nervous and excited, and he sensed a bond forming that went beyond words. Outside, the sky shimmered, casting long, glowing shadows over the crystalline towers. Elias looked up at the strange, beautiful world, feeling both awe and responsibility. Here, on Valira, humans had a chance to show the galaxy what they were capable of, not through force, but through courage, trust, and simple acts of connection. Leora followed him to the balcony overlooking the city. "I have never met a human before," she said, almost in a whisper. "And now, I do not know what to expect." Elias smiled faintly. "Then we will discover it together, one step at a time." The princess nodded, her hand brushing lightly against his, again not in the formal bond, but in tentative friendship. And somewhere deep inside, Elias felt a spark of hope. Perhaps humans and Valyrians could learn from each other. Perhaps the galaxy was not as divided as he had thought. The night fell over Valira, painting the sky in brilliant hues of violet and gold. The city glowed softly, alive with light and life, as if it recognized the importance of what had just happened. Elias stood silently, feeling the pulse of the planet, knowing that this was only the beginning of something much greater than himself. And in the quiet, with the stars above shining brighter than he had ever seen, Elias realized that sometimes, the smallest gesture a finger held in trust could change the course of worlds. The morning light on Valira was soft and warm, painting the crystalline towers in hues of gold and lavender. Elias awoke in a guest chamber provided by the palace, the air filled with a faint hum that seemed to resonate with the city itself. He had barely slept, thoughts spinning around the strange events of the previous day. How could a simple gesture a finger held in trust cause such a reaction? And yet, it had. A soft knock came at the door. "Enter," Elias called, and the door slid open silently. Leora stepped in, her luminous eyes curious and alert. She moved with the same graceful poise that had captivated him when they first met. In her hands, she carried a small tray with fruits and sweet liquids, unfamiliar to him, glowing faintly in the morning light. "You must eat," she said, setting the tray on the table. "You look as if you have not slept at all." Elias smiled faintly. "You are right. There is much I am trying to understand. I'm a 19. With this is 9. She sat opposite him, hesitating for a moment before speaking. "My mother." She has never reacted this way before. Humans are known to be unpredictable, sometimes dangerous. Why did she trust you so quickly? I wonder. Elias considered his answer carefully. Perhaps she sensed something in me. Something she does not often see in humans. Honor, honesty, courage. She reacted not just to me, but to the choice you made to trust me. Leora nodded slowly, her mind clearly processing the meaning behind his words. The bond. The finger held. It is more than just a gesture, isn't it? Yes, Elias said. I did not know at first, but I see now that it carries significance. I want to understand it fully, so I do not make a mistake that could harm you or your people. Before she could respond, the chamber doors opened wider, and Queen Amara entered. Her presence filled the room immediately. She looked serene, composed. Yet her eyes glimmered with a mix of relief and caution. Princess, human, she began, her voice firm but calm. It is time you understood why yesterday's event was so important. Elias, you have unknowingly taken part in an ancient Valyrian custom, one that signifies trust, loyalty, and the willingness to act in the interest of others. Elias listened intently. I did not know. I only wished to show respect. That is exactly why you were chosen, the Queen said. Humans are unpredictable, as I said, yet you are guided by conscience, not impulse. In holding my daughter's finger, you demonstrated your readiness to act not for yourself, but for someone else's welfare. This is rare in our world, even among Valyrians. Leora reached out, touching her mother's arm lightly. So, it is true. The bond is real. The bond is trust, and perhaps something more. Queen Amara nodded. Yes, child. And understand this. The bond carries consequences. By holding the finger, Elias has entered our circle of trust. He is no longer just a visitor. He is now connected to the safety and future of Valyra. Elias swallowed, feeling the weight of her words. I understand. I will do my best to honor this trust. The Queen's expression softened. That is why you are here. But your actions will be tested soon. The galaxy is not peaceful, and Valyra is a prize many would desire. You must prove that humans are not only honorable in gesture, but also in action. Leora looked at him, her eyes glowing faintly. What does she mean? What danger do you speak of? Before the Queen could answer, a communicator chimed from the table. The Queen touched it, and an image appeared, showing a sleek fleet of ships in Valyra's orbit, scanning the planet's surface. The ships were unfamiliar, black and silver, with weapons that gleamed menacingly under Valyra's sun. They are pirates from the neighboring system of Zareth, Queen Amara said. They have long sought to exploit our resources. They do not respect life or harmony. They see our planet as weak because we do not fight for conquest. Soon, they will test our defenses. And now, she looked at Elias. You will play a role in our response. Elias felt a chill, but he straightened his shoulders. Tell me what I need to do. The Queen motioned for him to follow. First, you must understand our people, their strengths and weaknesses. You must work with Leora to learn how the Valyrians fight, how they think, and how they live in balance with this planet. Only then can you help protect it. As they walked through the glowing halls of the palace, Leora explained the basics of Valyrian culture. They valued harmony over aggression, communication over force. Their telepathic abilities allowed them to sense intentions and emotions, and their cities were designed to be living ecosystems, blending technology with nature. Elias listened, fascinated, but also aware of the challenge. Humans were often direct, relying on technology and strategy. Valyrians relied on intuition and psychic awareness. To work together, he would need to adapt, respect, and learn quickly. Later, Leora led him to a training area, a large open space surrounded by crystalline walls that shimmered as if alive. Several young Valyrians practiced defensive maneuvers, moving with elegance and precision. Leora demonstrated a technique, her movements fluid, graceful, yet deadly, if necessary. Your mind must be as open as your body, she explained. We do not strike without understanding. We do not act without sensing the consequence. You will need both when the pirates arrive. Elias nodded, trying to mirror her movements. He stumbled at first, awkward and clumsy compared to the fluid grace of Leora. She laughed softly, not mocking, but encouraging him. Do not worry. Humans are strong in different ways. You have courage, creativity, and persistence. These will be your tools. As the sun began to set, Elias and Leora sat on a balcony overlooking the city. The glowing towers cast soft reflections on the glass-like streets below. Do you think we can face this threat? Leora asked, her voice tinged with worry. Elias looked at her, determination rising within him. We have to. The pirates may be powerful, but we have something they do not. We have trust, and we have knowledge, and we have each other. And we have each other. And we have trust. And we have trust. And we have trust. And we have trust. Leora smiled faintly, feeling hope she had not felt in a long time. She reached out, brushing her hand against his, not the formal bond, but a gesture of friendship and alliance. Then we will try together, she said. The Queen's words echoed in Elias's mind. As night fell over Valira, trust is not given lightly, but once earned, it carries the weight of entire worlds. And now, he was a part of something far greater than himself. Above, the stars glimmered like scattered jewels, and in the distance, the dark silhouettes of the pirate fleet lingered. The coming days would test them all, but Elias felt a spark of confidence. Humans could rise to the occasion. They could inspire trust, fight with honor, and perhaps even help save an entire alien civilization. And as he looked at Leora, standing beside him, he knew that the smallest act of kindness, the holding of a finger, had started a chain of events that might change the future of Valira forever. The city of Valira was quiet at first light, but beneath its serene glow, tension simmered. Scouts reported movements in the orbit above dark ships, drifting like shadows across the sky, and the Council of Elders convened quickly in the palace. Queen Amara sat at the head of the table, her expression calm yet firm, while Elias stood beside Leora, trying to grasp the full scale of the threat. These are not simple raiders, one of the elders said, his voice sharp. They are technologically advanced, and their fleets are organized. They have weapons designed to tear through our defenses in moments. If they attack, our cities could fall before we even realize it. Elias listened carefully, noting every detail. What is their goal? He asked. They seek our resources, Queen Amara said. Valira's energy cores are unlike anything in the galaxy. They can power entire worlds. They will stop at nothing to take them. And if they fail, they will leave destruction behind. Leora squeezed his hand lightly. You do not have to face them alone, she said. We will fight together. Elias nodded. He had faced danger before, but this was different. These were not isolated criminals. This was a calculated, well-armed fleet, targeting a civilization that had never known true war. Strategy and caution would be as important as courage. The first task was reconnaissance. Elias and Leora were to lead a small team into space to study the fleet. Using sleek Valyrian crafts that glowed softly with bioluminescent energy, they left the city under the cover of night. The crafts were responsive, intuitive, almost alive, and Leora guided them expertly. From orbit, the pirate ships were terrifying. Sleek and black, they moved with mechanical precision, scanning Valira with lasers that cut through the atmosphere like claws. Elias felt a pang of fear, but he quickly replaced it with focus. Panic would not help anyone. They are fewer than they seem, Leora said, telepathically sharing her thoughts with him. But each ship is powerful. A direct attack would be suicide. We must find a weakness. Elias studied the formation carefully. "I see something," he whispered. "Their smaller ships move together in patterns. If we can disrupt their coordination, we can create openings." Leora's eyes widened. "That is clever and dangerous. But it might work." They spent hours observing, noting patterns, communication signals, and weapon timing. Elias suggested a plan. Using a combination of Valyrian telepathic interference and human tactical maneuvers, they could isolate small groups of pirate ships and disable them without engaging the main fleet directly. It was risky, but it was their best chance. Returning to Valyra, they presented the strategy to the council. Some elders were skeptical. "Humans are not reliable in combat," one said sharply. "They act without understanding the spiritual or cultural implications of our methods." Elias took a deep breath. "I am not here to replace your ways. I am here to combine knowledge. Valyrians are brilliant and powerful, but humans think differently. Together, we can protect your planet without unnecessary loss." Queen Amara's gaze was steady. "You have shown honor and wisdom, human. Your words carry weight. The council will allow your plan, but you and Princess Leora must lead the first operation yourselves." The next day, the team prepared for the mission. Valyrian pilots, warriors, and Elias suited up. Leora's eyes glimmered with determination, and Elias felt a mix of nervousness and resolve. They were not only fighting for survival but for trust between their species. As their crafts glided into orbit, the pirate fleet became visible again, more menacing than ever. Leora extended her hand, and a stream of mental energy flowed outward, coordinating their forces. Elias watched, amazed, as subtle ripples in the pirate formation became apparent. He issued human-style tactical commands, guiding small Valyrian crafts into positions to exploit the openings he had identified. The first skirmish was tense. Laser beams streaked across space, shields glowed, and the smaller ships were targeted with precision. The pirates reacted quickly, adapting to their attacks. One Valyrian craft was caught in the crossfire, and Elias saw Leora's concern immediately. "Stay calm," he whispered. "We can save them." Using a combination of human strategy and Valyrian psychic manipulation, they redirected the pirate ship away from danger. A risky maneuver that required precise timing. The ship's pilot emerged unharmed, and Leora allowed herself a small smile, relief flooding her features. The operation continued, each move calculated, each decision critical. Elias realized that trust was not just about holding a finger. It was about relying on each other in moments of life and death. He felt Leora's thoughts, her fears, her determination, and he shared his own resolve with her. Hours passed, and the pirate fleet began to falter. Their formation was broken, and the smaller ships were disabled. The larger vessels, sensing the loss, started to retreat. The Valyrian forces cheered silently through their mental link, a wave of relief washing over them. But the mission was far from over. As they returned to Valyra's surface, a warning signal flashed. A massive pirate battleship had remained behind, undetected, approaching the city at high speed. Elias and Leora exchanged a glance, understanding the danger immediately. The city, unprepared for a direct assault, would be vulnerable if it reached the core. "We have to intercept it," Elias said firmly. Leora nodded, her eyes reflecting the glow of the approaching vessel. "Together," she said simply. They raced through the skies in a single craft, weaving past smaller defense drones and using the city's glowing towers for cover. Elias coordinated their approach, calculating angles, velocities, and timing, while Leora used her telepathy to predict the enemy's movements. The ship loomed closer, massive and threatening, its weapons aimed directly at Valyra's heart. At the critical moment, Elias directed a precise maneuver, and Leora projected a psychic wave, destabilizing the enemy's control systems. The battleship shuddered, lost coordination, and began to drift uncontrollably. Valyrian defense forces moved in to contain it, ensuring it would not harm the city. When it was finally secured, Elias and Leora returned to the palace, exhausted but triumphant. The queen and council awaited them, relief and astonishment evident on their faces. "You have done what many believed impossible," Queen Amara said. "A human and a princess, working together, have defended our world." Leora looked at Elias, her eyes glowing softly. Elias smiled faintly. "I have learned that bravery comes in many forms. Yours is just as important as mine. Together, we can face what comes next." The queen stepped forward, placing a hand gently on Leora's shoulder. "The bond you have formed, human, is no longer just a symbol. It is a partnership, a sign that our worlds can cooperate, that humans are capable of honor, courage, and wisdom beyond mere survival." As night fell over Valira, the city glowed with renewed energy. The pirate threat had been pushed back. For now, but Elias knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, dangerous, and unpredictable. Yet here he stood with a princess at his side, with trust forged in the smallest of gestures, and felt hope. For the first time, he understood that humans could inspire trust, unite different species, and stand as a force for good, even in the face of overwhelming odds. And above, the stars sparkled like witnesses to the courage and honor displayed below. A silent reminder that even the smallest actions, a touch, a held finger, a shared plan could shape the destiny of worlds. The sky above Valira was no longer calm. Dark clouds swirled unnaturally, as though the planet itself sensed the danger approaching. Scouts reported that the pirate fleet had regrouped, larger and more aggressive than before. Queen Amara convened the council urgently, her calm composure belying the tension in the room. Elias and Leora stood at her side, ready to play their roles once more. "This is no longer a small strike," one elder said grimly. "They intend to destroy our defenses, take the city, and claim our energy cores. If we fail, Valira could fall in a single day." Elias studied the holographic map of the planet and the approaching fleet. "We need to split their attention," he said. "Draw part of their forces away while the rest of us prepare defenses closer to the city. If we can divide them, we can attack in smaller, more manageable groups." Leora nodded. "I can coordinate telepathically with the warriors. We will synchronize our moves. But it will be dangerous. Many may not survive if we fail. Lam, my clue, Leora. Lam, Leora." "I know," Elias said quietly. "But we have to try. We cannot let fear control us." The first wave of pirate ships appeared over the horizon, glinting like dark stars in Valira's glowing sky. Elias and Leora climbed into their craft, hearts pounding with anticipation and fear. The Valyrian forces followed, a mix of warriors, scouts, and defensive units, ready to defend their world. As they engaged, the pirates unleashed volleys of energy, lasers slicing through the sky. Leora's telepathic guidance allowed the Valyrian pilots to anticipate movements, dodge attacks, and counter with precise strikes. Elias coordinated their maneuvers, combining human strategy with their alien intuition. A massive pirate battleship broke away from the fleet, heading straight for the city's central energy core. Elias realized the danger immediately. "We have to intercept it. Now," he shouted to Leora. She nodded, and together they guided a small group of Valyrian crafts in a daring maneuver, weaving through laser fire and debris. The battle was chaotic, each second a test of reflexes and trust. Leora projected her thoughts outward, alerting the team to unseen threats, while Elias calculated angles, distances, and timing to perfection. They reached the battleship, and Elias formulated a risky plan. "We need to destabilize its engines from within. If we can board it, we can stop it before it reaches the city." Leora's eyes widened. "Boarding it? Alone?" "Not alone," Elias said firmly. "Together. They maneuvered their craft alongside the massive ship, using the shadows of the clouds and the debris from previous skirmishes for cover. The boarding hatch opened with a hiss, and they leaped inside, weapons drawn, hearts racing. The interior was dark, metallic, and alien, with the hum of energy and machinery filling the corridors. Pirate guards appeared immediately, but Leora's telepathy disoriented them, creating openings for Elias to act. His movements were precise, calculated, and lethal when necessary, but always with care. He avoided unnecessary harm, focusing on disabling systems and neutralizing threats without causing chaos. They reached the control room, where the pirate commander waited, a tall figure in dark armor. "You are human," the commander sneered. "And you think you can stop me?" Elias held his ground. "I do not just think. I know. And we will protect this world." King. Groove. Leora projected a wave of psychic energy, slowing the commander's movements, and Elias used the opportunity to disable the ship's main engines. Sparks flew, alarms blared, and the battleship shuddered violently. Outside, the remaining pirates struggled to regain control, and Valyrian forces took advantage of the chaos to neutralize them. For a moment, time seemed to stretch. The battleship teetered, its systems failing, but Elias and Leora were trapped inside. Debris fell, corridors shook, and smoke filled the air. Leora grasped Elias's hand instinctively, their bond giving them strength and clarity. "We can do this," she whispered. Elias nodded, squeezing her hand back. "Together," he said. With synchronized movements, they navigated through the collapsing ship, using every skill and instinct they had. Leora's telepathy guided them around hazards, while Elias calculated jumps, lifts, and movements with precision. Finally, they reached their craft, leaping aboard just as the ship's engines gave one last shudder and exploded in the distance. They returned to Valyria, battered but victorious. The city was safe, and the pirate fleet had been driven off or destroyed thanks to their daring operation. Queen Amara and the council awaited them, relief and astonishment etched on their faces. "You have done what many believed impossible," the queen said, her voice filled with emotion. "Not only have you protected our city, but you have shown that humans can be trusted, that courage and honor exist beyond our own race." Leora stepped forward, her hand brushing lightly against Elias's, in a gesture of gratitude and alliance. "I knew we could do it," she said softly. "But I never imagined it would be this real." Elias smiled faintly, feeling both exhaustion and pride. "You taught me much, Princess. Your people fight not just with strength, but with heart and mind. I have learned that courage is not just about weapons, but about trust and connection." The queen's eyes glistened with unshed tears. "The bond you share is no longer symbolic," she said. "It is a living testament to cooperation, to the potential of our worlds united. Today, Valyria stands because of this bond, because of human courage, and because of your unity." As night fell over the city, the glowing towers illuminated the streets, reflecting the victory and hope that had been won through trust, skill, and bravery. Elias stood beside Leora on the palace balcony, looking out over the city. The stars above sparkled with unusual intensity, as though acknowledging the bravery and honor displayed below. Leora leaned lightly against him. "Do you think they will return?" she asked quietly. Elias considered the question. "Perhaps," he said, "but now they know we are ready, and we will be ready. We have learned to trust each other, to fight together, and to protect what matters." She nodded, her eyes reflecting the glow of the city below. "Then we will face them," Elias said firmly. "Together, because humans are capable of more than just survival. We are capable of hope, courage, and honor. And now, we can show it to the galaxy." In the quiet that followed, the two of them stood side by side, feeling the weight and the power of what had been accomplished. The bond that began with a simple touch a held finger, had grown into something far greater. It had become a symbol of trust, courage, and unity, a force that could shape the fate of worlds. And somewhere deep within, Elias understood that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of danger and uncertainty, but also full of possibility. And as long as trust and courage guided him, humans could rise to any challenge, even among the stars. The morning sun rose over Valera, bathing the crystalline city in gentle light. After the battle, the city was alive with activity. Valerian engineers repaired minor damage, scouts flew over the outskirts, and the citizens emerged cautiously. Relief and pride written across their glowing faces. Yet despite the calm, Elias knew that vigilance remained essential. The galaxy was vast, and threats could come from any corner. Queen Amara summoned Elias and Leora to the central palace courtyard, where the council awaited. The space was vast, open to the sky, and lined with the glowing towers of the city. Citizens had gathered at a respectful distance, their curiosity mixed with gratitude for the humans who had risked their lives to save their world. "You have proven yourselves," Queen Amara began, her voice carrying over the courtyard. "Human, princess, your actions have secured not only the safety of Valera, but the trust between our worlds. Today, the bond you share is no longer private. It represents hope for the future." Elias bowed slightly, feeling the weight of the moment. "It was not just my effort," he said. "It was Leora's guidance, her people's skill, and the courage of every Valerian who stood to defend their home. I only acted alongside them." Leora stepped forward, her luminous eyes shining. "And we could not have done it without Elias. He taught us to see the situation differently, to combine our abilities with strategy. He trusted us, and we trusted him. That is why we succeeded." Queen Amara smiled softly, a rare warmth in her expression. "Trust is the greatest strength. Your bond has proven that species can overcome fear, suspicion, and history to unite in common purpose. Humans are not only capable of courage, but of understanding, honor, and loyalty. Today, you have changed the future of Valera forever." Elias felt a wave of humility. He had not expected such recognition. To him, it had been survival, strategy, and instinct. Yet here, on this distant planet, he realized that human courage could inspire more than victory. It could inspire trust, hope, and friendship across species. Leora took his hand gently. This time, it was not a test or ritual. It was a promise, a gesture of respect and shared experience. She looked at him, her eyes reflecting pride and admiration. "I trust you," she said simply, "not just as an ally, but as a friend." Elias returned the gesture, holding her hand firmly. "And I trust you, princess. You have shown me courage, wisdom, and heart. Valera is lucky to have you." The citizens began to cheer softly, a sound like music to human ears. Valerians rarely expressed excitement vocally. Their emotions were often shared telepathically. But today, they celebrated not just survival, but the unity between worlds. The council presented Elias with a ceremonial medal, a symbol of honor and recognition. It was made of a rare Valerian crystal that shimmered with internal light, representing clarity, wisdom, and balance. Elias accepted it with respect, knowing that this gesture carried deeper meaning than any human award could convey. Later, he walked with Leora through the city streets. Children stared in awe, some mimicking the way humans moved, others touching their glowing skin in fascination. Merchants returned to their stalls, engineers resumed their work, and the city itself seemed to hum with renewed energy. "We've changed something," Leora said quietly, as they passed a park where the crystalline trees reflected sunlight like tiny suns. "Humans and Valerians. Together, we can protect not only this planet, But others too. Elias nodded. I hope so. This is just the beginning. Our galaxy is full of danger, but it is also full of possibilities. If we act with honor and trust, we can make a difference. That evening, the queen called them once more to her chambers. She sat in her throne, calm yet radiant, as if the events of the day had restored her spirit. Princess, human, she said, your courage has done more than protect Valira. It has opened the door to future alliances, to shared knowledge, and to peace. Humans may have been outsiders once, but today, they are part of our circle of trust. Elias bowed. We only wish to help, Your Majesty, to show that humans can rise above fear, greed, and misunderstanding. Queen Amara's gaze softened. And you have done so. Leora has chosen well in her trust, and through her, your people are now welcomed here. But remember, the galaxy is not always kind. Protect this trust. Nurture it, and it will grow stronger than any weapon. Leora looked at her mother, understanding the weight of her words. I will, mother, she said firmly. And Elias will stand with me. Together, we can ensure the safety and harmony of Valira. Days passed, and peace settled over the city. The pirate threat had been neutralized, but vigilance remained. Elias trained with the Valyrian warriors, sharing human strategies while learning their methods. Leora accompanied him, teaching him telepathic techniques, guiding his learning, and deepening the bond between them. As the sun set, they stood once more on the balcony overlooking the city. The towers glowed softly, citizens walking the streets, laughter and music filling the air. For the first time, Elias felt not just survival, but belonging. Valira had accepted him, not as an intruder, but as an ally, a friend, and a symbol of human potential. Do you ever wonder, Leora said softly, how different the galaxy might be if trust like this existed everywhere? Elias smiled faintly. I think about it often, but it starts with small steps. One act of courage, one gesture of trust, like the moment I held your finger. That was the beginning. And now, we see what it can grow into. She smiled, her eyes glowing faintly in the evening light. Then, let us continue to grow it, together. Not just for Valira, but for whatever worlds may come. Elias looked out over the city, then back at her, understanding the weight and promise of her words. Together, they had faced fear, danger, and uncertainty. Together, they had inspired hope and trust in a world that had never seen humans in such a light. And we will, he said, his voice steady. Together. No matter what comes next. The stars above sparkled, countless points of light stretching across the sky. Somewhere out there, other worlds waited, some in danger, some in peace, some unaware of the possibilities humans and allies could bring. But Elias felt a sense of hope that he had never known before. Humans were capable of more than survival. They were capable of honor, courage, and inspiring trust across species. And on Valira, that trust had begun with a single, simple gesture, a finger held in quiet courage and mutual respect. From that moment, humans and Valyrians had forged a bond stronger than any weapon. A bond that promised a future where friendship and honor could shine even in the darkest corners of the galaxy. Queen Amara watched from her palace, her heart filled with relief and pride. She knew the galaxy was vast, dangerous, and unpredictable. But she also knew that the human and the princess had proven that unity, trust, and courage could overcome even the greatest threats. And as Elias and Leora stood together under the glowing sky, hands intertwined, the city hummed with life, hope, and the quiet certainty that the future of Valira, and perhaps the galaxy itself, was brighter than ever before.